churches when he came to Lagos. Even my entire family were afraid when I brought him to the house. But I still took that risk. I took that risk. I housed him. The next day, the wife was talking about selling the property that he was supposed to sell before he traveled to Abuja. That they should sell the house and settle her. I was the one that called the wife friend. I said, please, if daddy is selling this house as the wife wants, let him sell the house. Let him and his wife reconcile. Let me and the friend, I told the friend, come, let's reconcile these two people in our best way. Because I myself, I had plans to travel. I wanted to travel. I already started processing my travel. I already done everything that they need to do for me to travel. Even before daddy was sick. I told the friend, I cannot continue taking care of daddy. Daddy cannot, I can take care of daddy from a third party, but I cannot sit down and be doing the things his wife is supposed to do. Look after him, cook for him, wash his clothes and all of that. Then I, the friend, myself and the wife friend, we have a conversation of the phone. I still have that conversation. Even if I don't have that conversation, I'll find a way and trace that conversation and get it. The wife friend was not like, okay, I will talk to her, but she has already told me that she's done with the marriage. Even when daddy came back in that condition from Abuja, she said she was not going to. But this thing I'm telling you is not so many months ago. This was just barely how many months ago? This was around October, around the time daddy fell sick. I'm done with my travel. They know that my travel has nothing to do with this donation. Really, BS, Mr. IBU'S, you know. You begged me to travel with your own daughter. I told you that I cannot prove to the embassy that your daughter is my child. You said you wanted to travel, and I told you that I'm going to help you. I'll give you the link to the angel so that they can be able to do your travel. Why are you not painting me that I'm trying to use donation money and travel? When you know the truth, and you have children, and you know the truth, and you came outside to sell lies. Even the person that did the show and took your husband to Abuja and took your husband to where they used something and cut his leg. You have never for one day and come and say anything about it. They did a show, they did not give him 1 naira. You've never come out for them and say, oh, my husband did a show in Abuja. If you really love him and you care about him, you did not pay him for the show. But you are dragging me. The same me you were chatting, even when the man was in the hospital, the same me that took him to the hospital. You're the one that took him to the hospital. When daddy came back from Abuja, you said you wanted them to sell the house and settle you. I was the one that discussed with Auntie Ogadima so that you and daddy will settle. I took daddy to Auntie Ogadima's house. Daddy refused to come to his own house. I took him to Ogadima's house. You know that you begged daddy. Daddy said, okay, he has forgiven you. That was my doings. We had a conversation on the phone, I and Auntie Ogadima, that we were going to reconcile you and daddy. It was my suggestion. When you already told her that you wanted daddy to sell his property and settle you. We took daddy to our house. You came there and met daddy. You knelt down and begged him, and he said, okay, he has forgiven you for everything you've done to him. The next day, you traveled. You went to mainland for a birthday party. Not even minding his condition. I was the one that took him to the hospital, leaving that hospital. The day that I brought Mr. Ibu to the hospital, was anybody there with me? Was the wife there with me? I brought him to the hospital. I sent you a message on WhatsApp. I said, see that his condition is bad. Or you said, child. I told you the hospital said we should make an initial deposit. You said, how are we going to get the money? I said, don't worry, I'll pay the money. I paid for the initial deposit. The hospital started treating him. I was going there to sleep in that hospital alone. If I go, his son will go and sleep. My brother will go. My family member was going. We're going. My mom will go. All of my family members were going to that hospital to go and sleep there. When you were in mainland. The picture the birthday you wear that you were wearing swimming pool is on your page on the 6th of October. Daddy was in the hospital that time. After the birthday party, you came. You came to the hospital after like a week. After a week later, you told me to send you transport for you to come over to the hospital to look after your husband. I did. You came and you met us at the hospital. I was the one paying all the hospital fee. When the hospital I couldn't meet up with the hospital bill anymore. The bills were accumulated. The doctor said, okay, daddy can be coming from home. That the same treatment that they are treating him here, he can be coming from home. When I told you this is what the doctor said, you said he should go back to my house and stay. I said the way I'm seeing daddy in this hospital now, with the leg, the way the leg is deteriorating, the place that they put mark has started rotting. That daddy cannot go to my house and stay. That I'm afraid that he's not in a good health. He's not in a good state of health. It's very risky for him to go and stay in my house. You said, is it now that I wanted to abandon him? That's what she asked me. Do you want to abandon him now? let him stay in your house. You see, the excuse she always say for him to stay in my house is their house is not good for him, but it's good for you. It's good for your children. You were living there. I even offered. I said, okay, oh, I would put some paper. I will fill it. I'll put bed so that he will stay in your house with you. You said no, you should stay with me. And I called your best friend, Auntie Ogadima. I said, Auntie Ogadima, this is what mommy is saying. No, that daddy should come and stay with me in this condition. What do you advise? She said, Jasmine, I'll advise you as I'll advise my own children, because you've housed my children in your house. I will not deceive you. Don't let that man go and stay in your house. If anything happens to him, she will deny you. Everybody will deny you. Oh. Nobody will, and I'm giving you this advice from a mother to a child. If the hospital cannot treat him from the hospital and there's no money, you should go back to his house. That's the advice Auntie Ogadima gave me. And I stood by it. I said, that is not going to my house now. You said, what can we do? I went to the doctor. I pleaded with her. I said, give us some days. We're going to raise money and pay the hospital bill. Did anybody from anywhere supported that hospital bill? Except they gave me money that I'm not aware of. I was the one paying the hospital bill. Now, when the doctor wrote me one day, I'll put the screenshot of the chart. The doctor said, we've accumulated so much bill that we should find solution. And I said, please, give me from now to so days his birthday. I'm going to celebrate his birthday in the hospital. Maybe if we celebrate in the hospital, Nigerians will see him and have mercy on him and want to support him. I went and buy cake. I coordinated everybody. We did the birthday on the hospital. Still nothing happened. The next day, they wanted to discharge him. When they wanted to discharge him, you said he was going to go and stay in my house. In my own house. The same girl you people refer as stranger. Husband snatcher. So at what point did you realize that I was having an affair with him? At what point did you realize that I was sleeping with your husband? I was sleeping with your husband and you still wanted your husband to stay with me, to live with me. And you love him. And you've always known that I was having an affair with him. And you wanted him to come and live in my house. So perhaps if God forbid, if he had died in my house, or God forbid anything bad had happened to him, I would have been in a bigger trouble right now. Nobody will believe the fact that I begged you to go and pick him from Abuja and you were conditioning me to book ticket for you and your friend. Nobody will believe the fact that I was the one that reconciled you and him. That is even talking to you today is me. And thank God there is record. I would have been explaining all this thing. Nobody will believe me. I went from being your daughter to be a stranger, to be a homewrecker, to be husband snatcher. You're doing this thing, saying all this thing, forgetting that you as a woman, you have a female child. And the way you treat other people's children is the way other people will treat your own children. I'm telling you, it's not a curse, it's karma. I'm not here to lay curse on anybody. I told the hospital, okay, give me 1 day. I cannot take daddy to my house in this condition. And I came back. I said, ma, I'm going to cry out for help. I believe if I cry for help, the Nigerians are going to help. I called her, daddy, I called the wife together, we were on the bed. By that time, daddy's leg has already decayed to some extent. The hospital were even telling us that the way they are seeing this leg, that they will cut the leg. By that time that they cut daddy's leg, I don't know what, it got infected. And it has started decaying. That the way they are seeing this leg, if care is not taken, that they are going to cut this leg off. They started giving us sign. I was so afraid for daddy. I said, I don't want daddy's leg to be cut. And that was not the only challenge daddy was having. I don't want to start taking some health, the state of his health. But that was not the only challenges he was having in his health. It wasn't only the leg when he came back from Abuja. But the leg was the worst one because it was paining him. Pus was coming out from the traditional whatever they did from it. I have pictures of all the circles, the mark, the things they draw under this leg. I'll put it here so you will see. Even after they cut the leg, you can still see the lines from the razor cut on the leg. After they amputated his leg, you can still see marks from the whatever they did in Abuja on his leg. How come somebody is talking about that? I called the wife. I called daddy. We start on the bed. I told I first did the same. What I'm saying now is what I said in the video. Nigerians, this is the condition of daddy. I've been the one paying the hospital bill, and I've been the one paying the hospital bill, and I have receipt of it. I cannot pay anymore. Is there any way we can support daddy? Before I cried out for donation, the hospital has already discharged daddy. Daddy would have gone home. The wife said he should come and stay with me. He would have gone and stay with me in my house, and God forbid, he would have something terrible would have happened to him, and I would have been in Kiriki, I would have been in jail right now for something I know nothing about. Then we did the video. When I called her, I said, Mommy, come and do video. Say something to Nigeria. When they see that the family is in unity, they will support him. She came, she said, hey, Nigerians, my husband is there, he's there, he's there. Somebody, I said, that's not how to appeal to Nigerians. I was telling her what that, to what, this is how you're going to say it. And then we did a video. Once that video happened, got online, money started coming in. The account they were sending money to was an Access Bank account that Daddy opened. And the day he opened that account, his son was right there with him. The mobile app of that account, because as Daddy is, when I came back to Nigeria, Daddy was not operating his mobile account. Most of the mobile app, he wasn't even using mobile app. So when he went to open that, Access Bank, he insisted that his son would be operating the mobile app on his phone, on his own phone. You can go to Access Bank and make inquiry if what mobile app on that particular account was ever logged into another account. It was in his son's phone. He put his son in charge of that account. Everywhere before the donations, the money that were paid into that account for maybe the skit he did with Sydney paid money to that account. He gave his son to send money from that account to his wife. So who has been controlling the account? His son. His son has been sending that money from that account to his wife. His son has been in charge of that account. When the donation came, the only thing I had access to was the SIM card that they're using to answer call. And what's it called? Alert was coming. When the alert was coming, I'll show her, Mommy, see this thing. In less than 2 hours, Nigerians have donated 40 million. Before you know, 60 million. In less than 3 days, 100 million naira has been donated. Before that time, she has not come and said anything bad about me. Oh. I was not a stranger. I was not a homewrecker. I was not a terrible person before that donation. I was not the evil Jasmine you people are labeling me to be. When the donation money started coming, she was the one that even met me and said, okay, she was very happy. She said, the first thing she said, thank God, I was showing her from the alert. The first people were using to make call, because I was the one answering call when people were calling to check in on him. Daddy's main phone, Daddy's phone was with the wife. Daddy's phone was with the wife, and that phone that the wife is holding, the main phone, I was the one that bought it for him. The phone that I was with was an old phone he was not using. He left in my house. That is SIM card to answer call. The phone for transaction, where the money is coming for, was his son. His son was in charge of that phone. I have never, ever in my life controlled the account that the donations were made to. Quote me anywhere. Choma, I have never in my life been in charge of the account that Nigerians donated money to. I have never for one day operated that account. I was only seeing alert. And when the alert was coming, I was giving her every single detail. Until that money got to 100 million, and that conversation she was saying she wanted to buy iPhone 15. She cannot say she did not say she wanted to buy iPhone 15. She cannot say she did not say she wanted to do her body. She cannot say she never said she wanted to buy a car with the money. While Daddy was in the hospital. And my problem was, she was telling me, knowing fully well that I was not in charge of the money. But what she was telling me was for me to go and tell the son. Because she knows if she goes and tell the son to transfer money from his father's account to her account to go and do all those things, he will not answer her. Then one day she said, God has blessed us, our time has come. This is our time that she's going to live her life and all of those things. I didn't say anything about it. Now people are saying I'm the one that brought this whole matter to social media. How? The first time this woman dragged me, she was the one that brought it to social media. The second one, when this matter started, Mariam Oyakilome, you people all know Mariam Oyakilome. Ask Mariam how this matter got to social media. Jasmine never went to this lover or any blog to beg them to put anything on social media. Mariam was in the first hospital when the donation started. She came to see the Daddy in the hospital because she said, okay, if she wants to appeal to her fans, that she's going to do her own video, that she's not going to use the video that people are already using. She's going to come to the hospital and do her own video and appeal to her fans. I say, okay, no problem. She came to the hospital. When she came to the